Hi everyone, and happy International Day of the Girl. My name is Laura Whitmore and I'm an ambassador for Plan International. And being a girl is great and worthy of lots of celebrations, but in all honesty, it comes with its challenges. And today I want to shine a light on one of those challenges. I want to shine a spotlight on the harassment and abuse many girls and young women face on social media today. So as part of the Free to Be Online report, Plan International spoke to 14,000 girls in 31 countries all around the world, and more than half have admitted to being harassed and abused on social platforms. Online violence is a serious issue. It causes real and substantial harm to those who experience it, and it's silencing girls' voices, and it can't go unaddressed. Since the offset of the coronavirus pandemic, our lives are more online than they have ever been, whether we want it to be or not. And for girls and young women in particular, this poses a real risk to their safety and well-being. Abusers, harassers and exploiters have been taking advantage of the situation to target girls and young women. And the online space is not always a safe space. Many girls are physically threatened or sexually harassed, body shamed and racially abused. And this abuse and harassment seems to get worse when they try to raise their voice and express their own opinions. And girls in all their diversity need to know that when they are abused and threatened online, that they can report it, that they will be listened to, and that action will be taken. Because right now, too often, they're met with silence. Those who hurl abuse, harassment and threats online must be held accountable for their actions. They also need to take personal responsibility and consider the potential impact of their words towards the person they are directing them to. This International Day of the Girl, we are going to take the opportunity to raise our voices in unison, because we're much louder that way, and appeal to all those who can make the online space a safe and empowering place for girls and women to do so. Because we all have a responsibility. Every one of us has a role to play in preventing and responding to the scourge of online abuse. And this includes governments, yes, they have a responsibility, media outlets, families, communities, friends, you, me. Social media companies have an enormous power and potential to stop this. The more power you have, the more responsibility. So while Plan International carried out research with these 14,000 girls all across these 31 countries, the Youth Advisory Panel of Plan International Ireland carried out similar research within Ireland with 457 girls and young women to complement and supplement the global findings. And unsurprisingly, the findings of both reports paint a pretty bleak picture of girls' experiences online. The majority of respondents had experienced online harassment, 58% at the global level, and in Ireland, 67%. The repercussions are pretty clear in these findings. And also, 1/4 respondents in both the global report and in Ireland said they felt physically unsafe. I mean, this is far greater than something that you can just brush off. In the global report, 42% lost self-esteem or self-confidence. That figure is much higher in Ireland at 75%. Half of girls in the global report said they face more online harassment than street harassment, and previously street harassment was the predominant location for harassment for girls and women. In Ireland, 90% of respondents felt equally as likely or else more likely to be harassed online. And this shows that those who perpetrate this abuse have found new ways to invade the homes, the bedroom, the minds of girls and women. And younger girls, they're not safe from this either. The global report states that online harassment for girls start at the shocking age of 8 years old. Girls report that social media harassment is at its peak between the ages of 14 to 16, and the reality is that perpetrators prey on the vulnerabilities of younger girls. In Ireland, the average age of this abuse starts between 13 and 14. Perpetrators will find any reason to harass, bully and shame girls and women online. It can be anything. In Ireland, most girls listed the following abusive experiences: stalking, body shaming, purposeful embarrassment, generally abusive and insulting language, anti-LGBTQ comments, racist comments, sexual harassment, threats of physical and sexual violence. At the global level, 37% of those harassed who identified as being from an ethnic minority said that they were abused because of their ethnicity or race. And the Irish survey also found that over 3/4 felt targeted because of their style, their appearance, just how they looked. What these findings show is that perpetrators of abuse and harassment online will basically find any reason to target girls and young women online. The effects of online harassment and abuse are far-reaching. They can impact mental health, confidence, self-esteem, relationships. And I suppose the question is, who are these perpetrators? Who are these trolls online? How do we stop them? And the findings show that there's no typical profile. Over half of the Irish survey respondents said that anonymous social media users and strangers were responsible. So how do you stop people you don't know? Then on the other side, many said they were also known to those they harass. Majority of girls actually said that their so-called friends or others known to them were responsible, meaning that sometimes people say things without realizing the damage that they're causing. There was one girl in the report, she said a guy tried to text her and then asked her for pics, and when she said no, like certain kind of pictures, and when she said no, he then called her a slut and then he started shaming her. And when you hear the story, you kind of think it's not a rarity. We've probably heard it before. What do you do? How do girls react to this abuse and harassment? While most respondents to the Irish survey said that they report the harasser or make their accounts private, this doesn't necessarily negate or lessen the harassment, nor prevent it from happening again. In the global report, around 20% of girls were driven off social media entirely or reduced their use, and 10% changed how they expressed themselves. And this was similar in the Irish survey. This abuse must neither be viewed as acceptable or inevitable. I feel we are told to grow a thick skin, or that abuse like this is something we should just accept or ignore. But girls and women must be free to express themselves and be themselves in all their diversity and complexities online without fearing for their physical and emotional safety and well-being. As I said earlier, power holders play a key role. Social media companies need to take action and create stronger and more effective reporting mechanisms to deal with online gender-based violence and hold perpetrators accountable. Governments must also take action to prevent and respond to this form of gender-based violence. Bystanders need to intervene online and call out abuse. If you see it, report it and support the harassed. I work in an industry where harassment is common. If you're on the telly, it's almost expected to be part of the territory. I've been told that before. It's part of the territory, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be acceptable for anyone, no matter who you are, what you do, where you live, what school you go to. Your words have power, so use them wisely. And each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all women. Happy Day of the Girl.